Welcome to the Wasteland. I'm Sebastian from Reviews. Thank you for joining us for another little bit of what we call News from the Wasteland. This is our weekly podcast where we gather around the campfire and discuss our thoughts on the state of the proverbial hellscape that is pop culture. Today, I am gathered here by my warboys, my comic crazy warboys, who have all journeyed through the Wasteland here to talk about their thoughts on today's topic. Ladies and gentlemen, would you care to introduce yourselves to the world?
Hey guys, what's up? This is Diego here at Reviews. It's good to be back for yet another journey into this horrific land we call the Wasteland.
Considering what happened yesterday, actually not yesterday, just considering what happened a couple of days ago with Roe v. Wade, we're pretty much living in a wasteland now more than ever.
Ugh.
Hello, everybody. I'm Armond here in the Wasteland as well, and trying to basically go by the day listening to Berlin's "Take My Breath Away." It's corny, but I'm a corny guy in this wasteland. At least I need some happiness.
I mean, we all need to we need to adjust ourselves in this wasteland however we can. Otherwise, how the hell are we going to survive this?
And speaking of survival, I'm Zany, or Luis, as any of you would call by my first name. Yeah, in the world where we're surviving and dealing with hard days, I nearly thought I wasn't going to have confidence to join in. But you know what? It's always best to vent out and just have a good time with every single one of you in this week's episode.
Glad to see you're here. And I think we also have another people here as well. Mr. Gabe, would you introduce yourselves and your little friend that you have here?
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Soul Despair, but you can either call me Soul or Gabe. I'm cool with either one. And I'm joined by my girlfriend. Let's call her Nightshade.
Hello, nice to meet you. I am Nightshade. You can call me Adriana or Adrian or Audrey, which makes you feel comfortable. This is my first time here, and I'm a little nervous, but pretty excited. Pretty excited to be here.
Hold on, you said your name was Audrey?
Yes. Anyone could call me, they feel comfortable. Audrey, Adriana, or Adrian.
Okay.
Okay with each one.
Okay, so before I say anything more, because of that, I feel obligated to say this. Feed me, Seymour! Feed me! If anybody gets that joke, then my friends, you have been staying in the wasteland far longer than you should have. Anyway, today we are doing a deep dive into one of the most polarizing figures in the world of film criticism. And no, it's not Doug Walker. Why? Because we're talking about a film critic, not a fucking clown. No, today we are diving deep into the marvelous mind of film critic and Twitter troll, however you want to look at him, Armond White. For those of you who don't know who Armond White is a very, very polarizing film critic who is best known for having a bit of a contrarian attitude towards movies. He is very well known for having a largely negative look on some of the most wonderful movies ever made, yet somehow having a very positive look on some of the worst movies that were ever made as well. And we're talking about things like disliking films like The Dark Knight, There Will Be Blood, Toy Story 3, and Get Out, but also praising movies like, I swear to God, I'm not making these up, G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, Jonah Hex, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Grown Ups, and let's just add Grown Ups 2 while we're at it, and he may not have liked Brokeback Mountain, but he sure had a lot of good things to say about, well, yes, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. So take with that what you will about the man's politics. But we're not here to talk about his politics. We're here to talk about his opinions when it comes to movies. Because as aficionados of cinema, I feel it is our civic duty to take a look at all of the amazing stuff that he had to say about cinema over the years. Now, I feel obligated to point out that this episode is not in any way an attack on Armond White or his opinions. We're just here to have a little fun and take a look at what he had to say about movies. We are not bashing the man or insulting him or doing any kind of crazy, inappropriate behavior. We're just having fun taking a look at what he had to say. We respect his opinion and his right to speak whatever he wants to say. We just think it's hilarious that he has such amazing opinions that contradict with ours. Now, with all of that out of the way, is everyone okay with this? I want it to be clear. We're not here to smear the man, and we're not here to make fun of the man. We're just here to make fun of the films that he had opinions about. Are we clear on that?
Well, considering the fact on his opinions, it's kind of hard to not to, but I'll try my best.
Yes, so.
I will try. But I can't make I can't make promises that I won't burn a couple of marshmallows along the way.
I mean,
yeah, me too.
I mean, that's perfect.
If I'm being 100% frank, I make no promises. I'm not showing any. I'm not going to show any insults to our man Armond White, but God, it would be a sin to not make fun of his reviews.
Well, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing here. And I think it's only fitting that we take a look at some of his reviews that he had very graciously had opinions about over the last couple of years. But we're going to start with the most recent one. This is a review of the movie Elvis, the newly released Baz Luhrmann disaster piece or masterpiece, depending on how you look at it. I haven't seen it yet, but it's Baz Luhrmann, so you can tell that I'm going to be excited to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for Elvis according to Mr. Armond White of the National Review. This shameless cultural jumble might make some kind of crazy sense for anyone who still thinks Presley the figurehead of pop vulgarity. That position has many successors, and Luhrmann is one of them.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, how can I say something where it's related to Baz Luhrmann, who is, Baz Luhrmann?
I mean, do you think this is a positive or a negative review?
How can I mean, it's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say. Even from a guy like this guy saying what he said about Elvis, I got nothing. Honestly, I got nothing.
How about
Go ahead, Louis.
How about the rest of you?
I guess I'll weigh in. One of the things about when it comes to film criticism that you have to do is you have to make sure, first of all, and this is the most important thing, and I want this to be perfectly clear. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you guys
Yeah.
ready for me to say it? The
Fire
number
away.
one thing when it
Fire away,
comes to
Diego.
film criticism, the number one thing when it comes to film criticism is you have to make sure that your audience understands what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I do.
Well, guess what?
Eh.
This is a freaking negative review, in case you guys were wondering.
Of course.
That surprises me less somehow.
Yeah, even from the word Mr. White, it has that negative vibe to it. Then again, Baz Luhrmann, like looking up on his past films, it tends to be kind of mixed. He made a good one, but a lot of times he could be making a movie that's not exactly very appealing to a mass audiences. So to see Mr. White going for like on a harsh criticism towards Elvis, I haven't seen the movie, but he does. But his review is at least kind of fair, if I have to put it lightly, to make me not want to watch the movie in theaters. You know, if I have to rely on Mr. White as my only film critic that I always read on. You know, yeah, that's the irony thing. If I pretend to be in the shoes of someone who is heavily rely on Armond White as my only film critic to make me judge whether or not it's worth watching this movie in theaters, then he did a good job. I'm not gonna watch Elvis.
Well, I mean, that's just one of the many movies that he has reviewed over this year. There's another one that he reviewed. That movie being Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, can I read it? Can I read it? I got.
Let Seb read it, and we'll do the judge.
Yes.
All right.
And by the way, Emmanuel, the whole point of this is to guess whether this is positive or not, damn it.
Fire away.
Well, it illustrates Cruz's showmanly sense that maybe Americans desperately want to believe in themselves again. While the latest James Bond movies fail at heroism, Cruz's action films present a credible sense of valor.
Okay, that sounds like a conservative reviewing point of view of this.
Would you be surprised if it told you that it's a positive review then?
Yeah, but him saying Bond failing at heroism. What?
You know, if I may chime in, this feels like, I mean, it's a positive review, but it feels like he has to compare it to something that he didn't like, because it's like he's comparing two very distinct films. It's like you're praising one film, but you're insulting another one, and you're
Well,
basically comparing apples and oranges. I mean, or yeah, that.
yeah, well,
Or
that's kind of a big thing when it comes to him. A lot of his movie reviews, he tends to always compare those movies with other movies.
Great.
I was
That's
up.
classic film criticism right there. That's exactly how you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid of that because after listening to that review, Top Gun Maverick, where he just suddenly compares to James Bond, I'm like, what are you on? What are you talking about? Why the comparison? Just tell me if Top Gun is awesome. I don't need James Bond in the middle of the conversation. And as Gabe says, apples and oranges.
yeah, I feel like this feels like he didn't like Bond being vulnerable, or he's trying to say, see, this is what hero should be like this, very masculine, very manly, and not fail at all.
Yay, make him boring, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
and going into the danger zone.
I mean,
You know, I feel like a proper comparison. It's like a proper comparison for me would be comparing it to like actual military films, because Top Gun Maverick is a military film. Like compare them to that, but don't compare a military film to a spy film. These are two completely different genres.
yeah.
exactly.
And and also a fictional spy film that again, Maverick is not actually realistic, mind you.
Wait, hold on. Audrey wants to chime in.
Apologies if I don't want to be rude or anything, but I don't. Okay, I really don't know how to be a critic here or anything. I mean, you guys are the experts. I'm just a newbie here.
We're barely
And
experts as his, so don't worry.
I'm sorry if this. Okay, if what you said about the critic, the guys describing the criticizing that movie, I never seen it. I think a critic, like you guys said, you have to make the audience understand what you're trying to say. Like sure, at times the audience cannot always understand, but I don't know how to describe. I apologize. But it's important for the audience to understand what you're trying to say. I mean, some others don't agree with you, but um, but they will at least understand to an extent, and then
I
that's I'm sorry. You were gonna say?
no. I was gonna say that I agree 100% because that Diego said something similar in that, in fact, just a minute ago. Because if you're speaking to an audience and you're rambling on and saying nonsense, not only is your point gonna come off as nonsensical, but the audience is gonna be left confused and not knowing what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It-
Sorry. You were gonna say?
No. Go on. You were saying?
I'm just saying that it's important to always, as much you don't it you gotta really make the audience like understand what you're trying to say. Like, sure, not everyone's gonna get along, not gonna agree with your answer with or what you're saying, but like I said, they'll understand to an extent, and I don't know. Sometimes you can't comparing a good movie or a bad movie. I really don't know if it's, do you want to make an example? As long as you explain it well in your best terms, I mean, I don't think I would have a problem with it. Like, depends how you describe the criticism comparing a bad movie to a good movie. Like, depends without disrespecting the good or the bad. That's just my opinion. I apologize. I apologize.
No need to
Yeah,
apologize.
no need.
The thing is, it's just like the most baffling thing is that he's comparing Top Gun Maverick to the Bond films in a positive way. Like supposedly they're better. It's like, yes, this is a positive review of Top Gun Maverick. That's made clear. But what's baffling is that he's comparing it to James Bond. That's all about like stealth and espionage and hacking, not really like aerodynamic action, which is what Top Gun Maverick is about. And PTSD.
And like I said, this isn't the first time he does so. And in fact, I have another example of him doing exactly that. This one is for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
right.
boy.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
This is a good.
Oh,
ladies and
Lord.
ladies and gentlemen, I swear you cannot make this shit up. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is too jumbled and over-anxious for coherent amusement. Hard to believe that Marvel is still churning out this garbage so long after Man of Steel rooted its characters to humane instinct throughout time. I'm sorry.
I have no words. I don't know what to say.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think I speak for every. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know I'm breaking the rules, but I think I speak for everyone when I say this. If he just stopped at the jumble mess comment, I would have understood. But he had to bring in Man of Steel, and I went like, "What? What are you smoking, my man?" There, that's it.
He was
Yeah,
probably
I'm ditto, man. Ditto, Gabe.
probably he was doing this while he was cooking him some crystal meth in his RV or something.
Okay,
So-
Emmanuel, careful with how you phrase those words. We are still talking about a man who can still sue us. Or, just for the record, he said that, not me. Please don't sue us. We're only with him, not by association.
Yeah. Well, can we compare? Can we compare him to another man whose last name is White?
I don't think so, considering that man may or may not be the one who knocks.
Yeah.
He is the danger.
If you're referring to Walt Whitman, wrong podcast, man.
Hey, wait, guys. Aldi wants to say something.
Curious. Forgive me. Okay, it's about that comment he made about the Man of Steel. What does that mean? I'm sorry if I don't quite follow that.
Seb?
Basically, from what I am understanding here is, I think he's trying to imply that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has characters that are not rooted in any sort of humane instinct by comparison to Man of Steel, which I find to be just incredibly baffling, since there was actual emotion and stakes in this movie, where in Man of Steel every character feels lifeless and flat. But you know what? Forgetting for a second just how ridiculous it is to compare this to Man of Steel, which is the equivalent of comparing Lightyear to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Why is first? Why? I don't understand. In what way would you consider this movie to be jumbled and over anxious? Like, I'm not really sure I understand what he's trying to say about this.
May I say something? Because Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, I wouldn't say it's a perfect film either, and it's entertaining. I like it just fine. And as Gabe said, I would have accepted if he said it's a jumbled mess. But bringing up Man of Steel, again, it's kind of apples and oranges. I mean, granted, both are superhero films, but two entirely distinctive tones, and both have their strengths and weaknesses. It's just, again, just like with Top Gun Maverick, comparing these two movies and with two entirely different visions, it doesn't work in a way that you're trying to make the reader understand whether or not if they're going to enjoy Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, you can call it jumbled mess however you want, but comparing it to Man of Steel, you just kind of failed to even acknowledge on why you even call it a jumbled mess. Like, are you talking about the story? Are you talking about the multiverse thing? Because if you compare it to the Flash, that's fine, but to Man of Steel, this is just a man who's just trying to gain a lot of clicks just for the sake of mentioning a movie that anyone is heavily mixed on.
Exactly. Like I can like it's just I find it also very baffling because like you're saying that this is a jumbled mess and Man of Steel arguably however you feel about it is still a jumbled mess as well. Like what are you trying to say? That one's a jumbled mess but the other one's a jumbled mess that was made by Marvel? I don't understand. And the whole rooted its characters to humane instinct. What are you trying to say about these characters?
Well, when you put those
Yeah,
two
maybe
words
it's like
together, yeah. Sorry, no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Diego. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what I was gonna say was when you put those two words together, humane and instinct, what does that actually mean? Like, what humane instinct? First of all, what does that refer to? Are you referring to the choices that they make, or the fact that they're human beings that act on impulse? Because it doesn't really even relate to what the plots of those two movies are. I mean, these people, like for example, Multiverse of Madness, these characters have appeared in other installments of Marvel. Granted, some of them are new, but at the same time, you're talking about something that has pre-established material, and we've seen them before in other things, so their story continues past this movie. So it's a little bit unfair to say that the plot is nonsensical, considering that it's a part of a whole universe, whereas Man of Steel was just the first one.
Exactly. Diego, you said it, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's yeah. It's I feel like he did he actually seen the other movies? Because I feel like he kind of was frustrated watching the movie and decided to compare it to Man of Steel, which yeah, wrong movie to compare to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's weird
And I'm
because
taking his frustration towards another movie that everyone will have click on just because he mentioned those three little words that nobody can stand for.
and so
Yeah,
even if you put it like this, what's baffling as well is it kind of works the opposite because even though he's comparing this unfavorably to Man of Steel, the wording and the phrasing makes it look like he's kind of shitting on both. Like he's kind of unintentionally also bad mouthing Man of Steel to some weird little extent. But
If I'm being,
Yeah,
if I'm
that's a,
being real,
that's a,
if I'm being real here, I don't know if he's talking negative. I know he's talking negatively on Doctor Strange, but it's hard to say the same whether or not if he's also applying to Man of Steel. Like I don't know if he wrote it as a positive or negative review, but I'm confused. His review is a jumbled mess in and of itself.
oh no, I haven't shown you anything that's jumbled. Yeah, if you think that's a jumbled mess, let me tell you what he had to say about. Actually, you know what? I think I'll let Diego say this one. Y'all want to hear what he had to say about the Batman?
Okay.
oh, I'm seeing it. But go right ahead.
Yes.
It,
Diana, did you want to say something?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask which Batman movie.
no, the Batman.
The
Oh,
Batman.
okay, sorry. Then.
Okay.
Okay.
So here
What
I go with my thoughts on, or rather his thoughts on the Batman. And I'm just going to start off with an excerpt of the review. There's going to be a couple of these 'cause I actually wrote it down. Okay. Quote, as a movie, The Batman shows Hollywood's craven manipulation of its easily susceptible audience. So thanks for that. They're just dissing us right out of the gate. The Batman reboots the Warner superhero franchise so that it falls back in line with the depraved Christopher Nolan Batman films from which Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League Director's Cut had redeemed the entire comic book enterprise. That's a stretch. Look, I love the Snyder Cut, but redeeming it is a very strong word. Like, if anything, the MCU is more to thank for the redemption of the superhero genre because they've been at it for longer, and they have, admittedly, they have more fans, and people actually treat superheroes like a potential moneymaker, so they take it more seriously. So we have them to thank, if anything. Second of all, this review is all about how Matt Reeves treats Batman, but in terms of like how cynical it looks, quote unquote cynical, but this review is in itself cynical, which when you put into perspective, like compared to his reviews of all the other movies that Sebastian talked about, it just tells me that this guy's very one note, and I hate to be harsh. I hope I'm not being too harsh on him or anything like that, but this is just this is my my point of view on it. He just walks into everything like expecting it to be like either better or at least somewhat compared to other movies that came out years before, and that just seems unfair to me.
You think that's bad? This is the small excerpt that I got from Rotten Tomatoes from what he had to say. Coming exactly, and honestly, this feels like the most pompous ass writing I have ever heard from a critic. Like this is like the caricaturesque. This is like the most caricaturesque depiction of what a film critic is. Coming exactly 100 years after F.W. Murnau's still disturbing Nosferatu, again comparing movies to other movies, the Batman doesn't earn being called artistic decadence. Its depiction of social horror isn't fully imagined. It never gets to the core of spiritual repulsion that Murnau touched.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes, go ahead before I lose my goddamn mind.
Okay, so Nosferatu came out 100 years ago, right?
Yes.
Isn't that a little bit late of a comparison?
I am. Oh boy, I'm kind of.
That's quite.
I'm hulking out.
Quite a
I'm
question.
Oh my god, yeah. Man, I want to say something, but I'd rather wait until each of you have your thoughts cleared.
I mean, anybody else have anything they want to say before Emmanuel here goes apeshit?
Go ahead, Luis. Go ahead.
I mean, it's not a fair. I mean, the comparison is applicable since you're dealing with, bat, the aesthetics of bats. Though, I'm just asking, why compared to Nosferatu? Not to mention that there was a silent film that was called The Bat, which was the sole inspiration of Batman. Which, if you ask me, it took inspiration from there, minus the whole using the bats. Well, actually, no. The bat signal used it as a way to intimidate the criminals and bad guys. Like, yeah, that's also comparable from there. It's just comparing it to Nosferatu is kind of weird. Like, yeah, it's applicable, but I don't think it's a good comparison at all. Because yeah, no matter the similar aesthetics, it's still apples and oranges. You're talking about a supernatural vampire film, while the other one is a superhero film that also has its more shared roots from the silent chiller eras of the 10s and 20s of films.
Yeah.
Pretentious. I'm kidding.
Yeah. and one last thing. Again, it's just like every other review. What are you on?
Oh, I have another movie here that I want to talk about.
Wait,
hold on. I want to hear Emmanuel and what he has to say about this. So go ahead, Emmanuel. What did you think of Mr. White's thoughts on this?
Mr. White, what the fuck are you talking about? What? Social. I mean, the thing that he said about in his review and his excerpt. Hold on. What did you say about the Batman here? Repeat the quote again, Sebastian,
He
if you
said
please.
that the Batman doesn't earn being called artistic decadence because it doesn't depict social horror the way that Nosferatu did 100 fucking years ago.
Yeah, social horror. What the hell are you? Why are you comparing social horror to Nosferatu? Two completely different things. This is more realistic. It deals with the corruption of a city, and Batman. Although, yeah, you might compare him to Nosferatu because he's dressed like a bat, but he is not a vampire. He's just a man dealing with trauma, and he clearly has some issues that he had to deal with. But what are you smoking? Hell?
It's not even just that. The fact that he's talking about this as though the Batman was a straight up horror movie, and it's really not. It has some elements to it.
Yeah, it has. I would compare the Batman to Matt Reeves said it, that it's inspired by 70s cop thrillers. And yeah, it does have a horror elements. I remind you of the opening shot of the movie.
Yeah, but it's as much a horror movie in the same way that The Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie. It's great. It's uncomfortable. It's kind of scary, but I would never consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie, and I would never consider The Batman a horror movie either, because even though there's some scary elements in it, scary stuff does not a scary movie make.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry to chime in. This is like the scary. Like, it's just that I thought I would add this. It's like Jurassic Park is by all means a sci-fi film, but it does have those suspenseful horror elements to it, since it's basically about bringing back extinct dinosaurs through genetic science. And it could be considered a horror through those elements. But this ain't it, Chief.
Mm-mm.
This ain't it.
Ooh.
Hello, are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. We're still here.
My head hurts like a motherfucker, but I'm still here. I swear to God, what I find most. I'm sorry. Yes.
Also, what does he mean? Is there? Wait. No. What is social horror? Is there a definition for that? Because if you want to know if you want social horror, all he has to do, maybe he's referring to social media in general.
Basically, social horror in this case would be talking. I looked up like a basic definition of social horror, and from what I'm getting here, and I'm just checking this out by checking what is the closest equivalent to Google that we're going to get here in the Wasteland, is the genre of social horror, as it has come to be known, combines elements of suspense and horror to contextualize the obvious and not so obvious biases in society.
Okay, so
now I'm even more confused.
I think I understand, kind of.
Do you?
Okay,
Because I'm legitimately wondering if actually, you know what? This is actually kind of diving into another issue with Mr. White. When it comes to his reviews and his opinions, this man knows not when to get off the soapbox. Yeah, I think you guys I think you guys know where I'm going at with this.
Oh, honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't know because can you explain this again?
Okay. Okay. If you guys can stop interrupting me, I thought I told you guys to cool down with that. Mr. White is one of those critics who always has an opinion, and I'm not just talking about movie opinions, I'm talking about opinions. Like the kind of opinions that you don't really need to bring up when either in conversation, Thanksgiving, or writing a review. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call proof that even when I hate what you like, no, even when I hate what you hate, I still cannot agree with you. he had a negative review about Being the Ricardos, one of the worst movies of 2021. I agree that this movie is bad. 100%. Everything about it is terrible. The writing, the acting, the directing. I love Aaron Sorkin, but this was the worst movie that he did since Molly's Game. But this review made me want to defend Being the Ricardos just because of how terrible it is. Yeah, it did that. This is what he had. This is what Armond White had to say about Being the Ricardos. Oh boy, I'm just give me a second here. I just need to prepare for this. Just the West Wing TV hack Aaron Sorkin, who wrote and directed the film, scuttles Kidman's insight into Lucille Ball's intelligence and competitiveness through his usual political posturing.
Political posturing? What the hell?
Oh my goddamn Jesus, amor mío, ¿por qué?
These words, man.
Yeah, Mr. White, don't you think it's pretty much a good idea not to mix in your politics into your reviews?
That's one of the trends I'm noticing with him.
I mean,
Yeah. I feel like it's more like I have to say something. Everybody has to hear what I have to say. You know, how much, the more he says, the more I feel like I'm not interested in what you have to say, buddy. Go away.
I mean, this is basically what I mean when he says don't get up when he says he's unable to get off the soapbox. Like, shit, even when he's talking about movies that I hate, like Don't Look Up, look at what he had to say about it. Like, the film's negativity indicts McKay and insults his audience. Actually, you know what? That's a bad example. I actually agree 100% on this. This is actually the 1% instance where he actually got one right. But then he had this to say about Red Rocket, aka a movie that was directed by Sean Baker. I'm sure Diego would love to hear about this.
My favorite.
I don't know. What's Red Rocket? Wait, hold on. Before you say anything about Red Rocket, what was Red Rocket again? Isn't that the movie about
the one with Simon Rex? The movie with Simon Rex.
Simon Rex. Wait. I don't know who he is. Is he?
He's that guy. He's that guy who was in every single terrible, god awful parody movie in the 2000s.
Oh, you mean the ones like Meet the Spartans?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I don't know if he was in Meet the Spartans. I know he was in movies like I know he was a superhero movie though. He was the parody of the Human Torch.
Oh boy, well, then again, dude, I found something here, but go ahead, finish your review for Red Rocket, because you want to strap in what he has to say about Tick Tick Boom.
Oh God. Okay, but hold on. So this is what he had to say about Red Rocket, and it's a very, very positive one too. Red Rocket would seem dehumanizing and despicable if not for Rex's three-dimensional portrait of Mikey's outlawry. How the fuck do you pronounce that? Outlawry. Flaunting headbanger stupidity for stupidity, misused charm, and misguided talents to full effect. I'm having a hard time reading this. What the hell is going on here?
I don't blame you. I don't even know what half the words you're saying mean.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's saying that this movie would be terrible if it weren't for Simon Rex's performance, which okay, I'll grant him this. Simon Rex's performance in this movie was award worthy. I thought he gave the best performance of his career. But what the hell is he saying about the movie? I'm getting nothing out of this.
I would
Yeah,
movie.
even I'm confused. Like,
You know-
am I supposed to like it? Am I not supposed to not like it? It's really, I'm confused. Like, and I'm looking at it now. Like, Red Rocket looks like it's well praised, and I don't. And this is the kind of reviews that I can't stand in some critics when they dare use fancy words that not the common reader would understand. Because somebody would probably Google these words for proper definitions more so than reading the actual review.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. And I swear.
You know, yeah, I personally feel compelled to do the same thing. It's like I don't know what's more impressive about this guy. The the way he writes the sentences, the comparisons he's making, or these words that he just pulls out of his hat. Like, what are you trying to say, my man?
I mean, I know exactly what he's trying to say about West Side Story. Y'all want to hear this? Oh, strap yourselves in, and also apologies to anybody who might be offended by what he had to say, mind you.
Hold up. Well, okay. Before then, we get to tick tick boom because
Yes, we'll get to Tick Tick Boom, don't worry. But before we do, Spielberg shrinks the spiritual aspiration that once made his popular art transcendent. First time out, West Side Story functioned as tragedy and cultural triumph. Second time, it's woke farce.
Okay. When he said,
Yikes!
yeah, when he said that, you could clearly tell that he may not be a fan of say why are there so many Puerto Ricans here?
It's like, why are they Puerto Ricans in my Puerto Rican movie? Why are there black people in this movie with black people in it?
Yeah, but Mr. White.
Hey,
What's the West Side Story? The
Uh,
movie you guys
what?
were talking about.
The new one, the remake.
West Side Story is a musical.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
musical
West Side
by
Story is
Spielberg.
West Side Story is a musical that was with lyrics that were done by Stephen Sondheim. It's a Romeo and Juliet story, but between a American dude and a Puerto Rican girl who are part of rival gangs. A gang of Americans and a gang of Puerto Ricans who are at war with one another. And spoiler alert, dude, homeboy dies, and she ends up basically miserable by the end of it. It's a This is one of those musicals that is loved and praised by everybody. It's one of those musicals that was written by the late Stephen Sondheim, may you rest in power, because I forgot what the proper phrase is for a man of Jewish faith, and I don't want to accidentally say it wrong here. But I'm sorry, but I fucking hate West Side Story. Like, I love the choreography, I love the acting, but I fucking hate this story so much. I hate Romeo and Juliet stories like this, especially the remake is fantastic, and I'm glad that it got all the praise that it did. But I fucking hate this damn story, and I hate the fact that this is the most popular one with Puerto Ricans still being portrayed as. I'm sorry, this is going completely off topic here, but can I just talk about the fact that In the Heights was completely ignored in the Oscars this year when it had a much more positive depiction of Hispanics and Puerto Ricans, yet the one with the fucking Puerto Ricans that were not only racist but also gang members, that's the one that gets the Best Picture nomination? Okay, I'm done with that. But yeah, that's basically what West Side Story is. And the original one is exactly the same as the new one. The only difference is that the new one actually has Puerto Ricans in it, and he's calling this one woke, while the other one wasn't. Yeah, wrap your head around that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that sounded very harsh.
Wow.
It sounded very harsh, even though Spielberg already made it clear that he wanted to not only remake the movie, but being very authentic with the casting of, Puerto Ricans. Like, yay, I raised my fist up to see a lot of great representation. And to see Armond White making such harsh criticism, it kind of pains me.
Yeah, first of all, don't say woke. Don't use woke in any context. Woke used to mean something positive. Now it's being used by racist dumbasses on Twitter. Don't use woke. If you want me to take your shit seriously, don't use woke. If you're a racist piece of shit, fucking wear your badge out for all to see. Cause I can tell that you're racist. I don't need you using buzzwords to make it look like you're not racist because it's an opinion, bro. I can tell what you are. You're not fooling anybody. But using words like woke is just so annoying because we know what that means. And it's not something it wasn't good the first time and it isn't good right now. So just fucking stop.
Yeah, but yeah, don't. If you have seen this movie with Puerto Ricans, you probably might want to keep your distance because if you have something bad to say about Puerto Ricans, keep your. We are a proud people, and if you say something bad about us, we will look for you.
It was a discussion about the movie though, because it was still talking about West Side Story, and the fact that he's calling it woke is invoking an opinion on the fact that the movie in itself is basically too representative. It has too much representation. When the motherfucking movie is literally about Americans and Puerto Ricans. How can you get mad at a movie that is about representation and yet still say that the original one is regarding royalty, like it deserves to be staying there and not be criticized at all? Because that's what he's saying here. He's calling the first movie a cultural triumph, but this one is woke farce. May I remind
Yeah,
you that the first movie, as bad as it was, it still had Puerto Ricans in it? Well, okay, scratch that. A Puerto Rican in it? Yeah, they were wearing blackface. Oh, wait, of course, now I see why. I mean,
yeah,
it's okay when they're black or Hispanic as long as they're wearing blackface. Because God forbid that they can actually be black. They have to be white people or they have to be Hispanic people who have fucking black fucking shoe polish on their faces. It's ridiculous. Okay, so
Well, yeah. Are you ready for this, Sebastian?
I mean, might as well. It can't be any worse than it can't be any worse than what you have to say about What's That Story.
All right then. Here's what he had to say about Tick Tick Two. Tick Tick Boom.
Tick
Sorry.
tick what?
Sorry. My brain is a little. My brain is a little fried here. Let me repeat that. Here's what he had to say about Tick Tick Boom. You ready for this? Tick Tick Boom uses the Jonathan Larson careerist cult to promote Broadway narcissism. It's the most showbiz biopic since disgraced Cole Porter. Did you get that?
I only got partially some of what you said because you cut off horribly while you were speaking there, but I'm reading that exact same thing on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah.
My brother in Christ. Comparing this to The Lovely. Keep in mind the movie version of The Lovely. Wow. Just wow. God damn. Just wow.
And
And also,
when he said obnoxious, yeah, sorry,
careerist.
but can I say this? When he said obnoxious, what do you mean by that?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Jonathan Larson careerist cult. What are you fucking talking about? And to promote Broadway narcissism? The whole point of the movie is that his selfishness was actually working against him. He was acting selfish. He was being narcissistic. And at the end, it backfired and it bit him in the ass. Because it gained him nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. I feel like this asshole does not really know what movie he's even talking about. Also, like, D. Lovely was shit. Like, what it did to Cole Porter's legacy is a fucking crime in and of itself, but I would never say that this movie is on par with that movie in terms of being an obnoxious biopic. Because fucking hell, dude. At least this movie works. It had. I don't even know how to respond to this. Genuinely speaking, like, and I'm not saying this because because I praise Jonathan Larson. I have my criticisms on who he was as a creator, but what the movie did was absolutely different than what he's saying here. Like, I can't even say what he had. I can't even tell you if I disagree with this because I don't know again what he's fucking talking about. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Does anybody have anything they want to add to this?
Honestly,
Nope.
nope, not really. I already said what I had to say from that quote, and the quote, I guess, explains itself.
Oh my god. Luis, by any chance, have you seen Drive My Car yet?
Which movie?
Drive My Car, the Ryusuke Hamaguchi film.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet. I've been wanting to, though.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep that up. I'm gonna go ahead and ignore the review that he had to say about driving my car, just because I don't want to. I don't want to say anything that may or may not negatively dissuade your opinion. But I have another one here. Actually, you know what? Since we brought up Top Gun Maverick and he had such an eloquent review of James Bond, why don't we take a look at his review of No Time to Die?
Oh, I am
Mm.
already. Yep, I am already
Oh.
seeing.
Yeah, okay, so No Time to Die proves that the decades old James Bond franchise has reached a dead end. The turn towards sadism that began with Daniel Craig's angry, sinister interpretation of 007 has reached an unconscionable level of heartlessness.
Okay, sadism, but this Bond. Are you talking about previous Bonds? Because the Craig Bond was. Oh, then again, it's been a while since I've seen the other ones, but I don't remember him being a sadist.
I get the feeling he's referring to that one scene from Casino Royale where he was tied up to a chair and had his nuts being hit by a thing, by a flail, or something like that.
Oh,
That's the only interpretation I can make from this.
yeah, and him saying that the franchise has hit a dead end. My friend, yeah, you clearly live in a bubble. That Bond is gonna go on.
Yeah, clearly you have never seen Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as what I can get from what he just said about No Time to Die, because I'm not gonna say No Time to Die is perfect, because it is an entertaining Bond film, and I was well invested into the story, minus the villain. I wish the villain could have been so much better, but that's besides the point.
God, that villain was so
But
goddamn
but the way,
boring.
but the but it's really but it felt you've done injustice to like treating this film as the last film that Craig finally put a close on his role as Bond, and to be the first film to end it with with a literal bang. Like I'm not going to spoil it for the sake of those who haven't seen it, but and and I'm just curious, why did he have to describe Bond as being what do you call him? A sadist or
Like, he
sadist?
said the turn towards sadism that began with Daniel Craig's angry, sinister interpretation of 007.
Angry is angry situated Bond. This guy even know how Bond works? Like, granted, He's not exactly a happy-go-lucky guy after Casino Royale, but come on, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It's
Yeah.
it's absolutely
And the whole thing being sadistic. Then yeah, Bond may have his moments where he really liked to pull off a one-liner, especially on moments where he did leave the choice for the person he's about to kill to earn his proper death. But I don't see that as a way of being sadistic. Granted, there was that one scene in Casino Royale where he shot that little bomb on the guy from the airport. Like, that's the one moment where you may call it that sadistic, but no, that's just his arrogance speaking. That's not even sadistic, even the slightest.
I think maybe he was talking about that scene in Skyfall where the villain shoots the one of the women that bomb sleeps shoots she had a scotch on top of her head, and then he begins to shoot her, and Bob only said that was a waste of good scotch. Yeah.
God,
Yeah, but
that's just reminded me of how crazy sexist that scene was. Wow.
Yeah, but then again, that is well, yeah, Bond is Bond has his flaws. Like his thing may no longer be all to everybody, but that is the character, and also he is a killer. He's a hitman. He's supposed to be sometimes cold and ruthless.
Well, with all that being said, Diego, I think you had another film that you wanted to talk about. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so strap in, everybody, and get ready for liftoff because we're talking about his thoughts on Lightyear. Oh,
Oh, great.
yeah, and as you all know, Lightyear has been getting like a ton of controversy because of that one scene with that 1 2 second thing.
Two lesbians kissing, and people are mad because gay people exist.
Yeah, so the entire review, which I just read before starting recording this podcast, is completely focusing way too much on the relationship. I guess minor spoilers between the person and her partner who kiss, which is blown way out of proportion. Obviously, no surprise there. First off, that thing, and I know, Sebastian, you haven't seen it, but I'm not actually going to go into detail about it just so you don't get scared about what I'm going to say next.
Hey, Diego, before you continue, you know what the funniest thing that happened to me after I came back from Lightyear when I told my mom that I watched it? Like, she mentioned to me about the lesbian scene, and like, oh my god, is this actually that widespread?
It's
I
way
didn't
too
believe.
widespread, my man. It's way too widespread. But going back
I
to what
didn't
I
want
was
to
saying.
believe it. Yeah, go on.
Okay. No, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But what I was going to say was that it's blown way out of proportion, obviously, because that relationship occupies probably 5 minutes of the movie and serves about as much relevance to the story as that one dude with the snake on his head from Return of the Jedi, who's like the bouncer at Jabba's club, does to the overall story. Like, he's that relevant. But let me actually read an excerpt from the actual review. Lightyear proves that the folks at Pixar and Disney are past masters at audience manipulation, now known as quote-unquote grooming. I'll just leave that alone. You can just make whatever jokes you want. This isn't only because of Lightyear's already infamous lesbian kiss. Here we go again. Gratuitous in a family entertainment animated film, the kiss scene is banned in Saudi Arabia and passes a matter of corporate pride in the US. Pixar has been grooming audiences for decades. Lightyear is Pixar's 26th feature release, the latest in the digital technology company's command of the animation field, so much so that Pixar is wrongly considered the gold standard. First off, tell me how you would do better than Pixar. You, a film critic, how would you actually be better at animating films than fucking Pixar?
Better question. How do you talk? Okay, first of all, I just want to add one thing. Paranorman had one of its central characters come out of the closet at the fucking end of the movie, and no one said anything.
But because it shouldn't be that important.
Exactly! But the minute two black women... Oh yeah, I forgot, there's two black women. That's probably another reason. The minute two fucking black women kiss on screen, then it's a problem.
Yeah. Considering that Mr. Armond White is black?
I'm not going to use the term that some people have called when it comes to I'm not going to use it here because I'm trying very desperately not to openly antagonize the man, but Jesus Christ, dude, this is Uncle Ruckus level shit that you're saying here.
Yeah, after hearing Diego's review, what do you have to say about after hearing what Diego read about Mr. White's opinion on Lightyear? I have to say this, Mr. White, I have no interest what you have to say on any Pixar film because you clearly sound like an old fart.
He is an old fart. He's 69 years old, and I'm not gonna say nice.
Yeah, already though.
I mean,
asshole.
And again, this is reminding me too much of the West Side Story review, but the way how he does it here with Lightyear is like he just tuned it up to 11, saying, "Come on, man, can you just not focus on can you just not focus on your political views and just review this as a movie because this is getting a little
Yeah.
silly.
I feel like he's like that Simpson character. Like he would agree with that one Simpson clip. You know this famous Simpsons clip they use every time. Like, but what about the children?
No, it was, will someone please think of the children? Shut the fuck up. The children are writing porn in their notebooks when you're not looking. The children are watching porn in their smartphones when you're not looking. The children are fucking doing pornographic stuff when you're not looking. I hate to tell you this, but the children don't need to be thought about because the children are doing stuff behind your back and you don't even know it. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. And plus, watching two gay people kissing each other isn't gonna make them anything. It's only gonna make them look at two people kissing each other and think, oh wow, it's two people kissing each other. We grew up with fucking Batman, the animated series, and the dude was gay and we didn't know it. Did any of us grow up gay? I mean, I'm bisexual, but that's completely beside the point.
And also grooming.
Do you people not know what the word grooming is? I swear to Christ, this people did not.
It's incomprehensible how people can miss the point so consistently.
It really is amazing how we as a society have completely shot ourselves in the ass to the point where we're now using terms that are used to define harmful people as a way of describing people who just do stuff that we don't like. Oh, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, Manuel?
I was gonna compare him to this other film critic, the founder of Ain't It Cool News. But I guess, the more you say about Mr. Wright's reviews, I think you ever heard of the man called Harry
Knowles?
You know
Harry Knowles?
Harry Knowles.
Harry
Knowles. Yeah, Harry Knowles. I think Mr. Armond White is on a complete different level than Harry Knowles when it comes to his reviews.
Yeah, no shit. Armond White is a man who, even when he's talking negatively about a movie that I don't like, I still cannot find myself agreeing with him. Like, Being the Ricardos was one thing. This is what he had to say about Dear Evan Hansen, because it always goes back to Dear Evan Hansen for me.
Man, it's a curse. It's a curse, man. When will you make a Dear Evan Hansen video?
I made one already! I already made one! The musical's closing already! Just let it die! Maybe I'll make a review of the movie and, actually, I can make a review of the movie and around the same time that the musical is closing on Broadway, just to really pour salt in an open wound, but I need time to prepare for that because the movie was that bad. Like, the musical is bad, but the movie, oh god, the movie. This is what he had to say about that movie. Dear Evan Hansen glories in millennial fragmentation. Pasek and Paul celebrate how divided we are. Our individuality and insularity are sentimentalized. What?
I don't get it. I don't understand.
First of all, talk to me like I'm 5. What did you just say? Number 1. Number 2, celebrating how divided we are. This movie isn't about politics. This is not a movie about politics. This is a movie about a guy who killed himself and another guy taking fucking credit for it. What the hell are you talking about?
I got nothing.
No, instead your raw reaction speaks volumes here. We got nothing to say.
Yeah, we got nothing to say, man. You already said what he had to say about Dear Evan Hansen, so I think just you have to stop getting that dead horse, or you can as long as you can blow off some steam.
How about one of you guys brings up one of his reviews? I need a moment to relax after that.
Okay.
Hold up.
No, one of you guys do it because I've already brought up 2. So you guys go ahead.
Well, Hold up. Huh. Well, at least he had something to say about Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Well, I think.
Oh boy, this ought to be good. What did he say?
The most compelling of all John Hughes movies. It's the one that cuts through the typical adolescent sentimentality in his popular 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club to reveal the truth about American cultural values.
The movie had nothing to do with American cultural values.
This is a movie about a guy skipping school and playing hooky.
Yeah, the message had nothing to do about values.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? What kind of movie were you watching, Mr. White?
I think he was watching the wrong one.
I feel. I'm
And
surprised he's not.
again, it's the same. Like I made the same comment once again from Lightyear. It's like, why do you? Are you? Is there anything else that doesn't need to have a political eye on?
Honestly, I think this dude is just doing this for the clicks or for the attention. Hey, the more he has to say about his politics, the more attention he gets, and well, money or something, or he's a narcissist.
I mean, before I actually told you guys about this beforehand, but there's a reason why he's become known as a bit of a troll, and I'll explain why after I read to you guys what he had to say about my favorite movie of 2021, In the Heights. And let me tell you, I am convinced that this man is just trying to spark something. Miranda's cultural misappropriation in the Heights is the grotesque product of a mainstream culture that seeks a Latino figure who is acceptable precisely because he is politically and artistically non-threatening.
It sounds like you feel threatened, my dude.
Oh my god. I'm going. I'm in. Is this the Matrix? Am I in the Matrix right now? Am I Neo?
Show me on this doll. Show me on this doll where Lin-Manuel Miranda hurt you.
Right here on my ego.
I mean, I already am aware that he's a good troll. Like the guy knows how to upset people, yet at the same time still get a good amount of traction. Like even though I'm kind of roasting him and making fun of his reviews, I know what he's in for. I know what he's doing. It's one of those wearing your tinfoil hat moments, saying he's doing this on purpose because he probably wouldn't even stand in the same level as some of the most beloved critics like Roger Ebert. He's just doing this just for the lulz, where it could spread the word, because monetizing negativity is what brings in a ton of people. That's what YouTube is known for in the end, anyway.
Yeah, heck, even Roger Ebert himself called him a troll.
Yeah, and it's funny thing that you mentioned that because he may be a troll, but I will give him this. Most trolls, they would never say what they would say online in real life because they know they say that shit in real life, their asses will be on the ground before they can even close their mouths. However, Mr. White is before I say what I'm about to say, I want to say that Mr. White received an anti-censorship award at the 35th Annual American Book Awards for, quote, being unfairly removed from the New York Film Critics Organization. Now, the New York Film Critics Circle, I'm sorry. Unfairly removed. Do you want to know why he was removed?
Go ahead.
Enlighten us.
Well, Mr. White, in the most nuanced way imaginable, heckled director Steve McQueen at an event for 12 Years a Slave.
Can you repeat that again?
Oh.
He heckled a director at an event regarding the movie that he was attending.
Heckled.
Heckled.
As in, what? He said something. he said something that Steve McQueen didn't agree and it get to an argument or something?
Basically, he tried to get into
No.
What? Say again?
He got it. He was heckling the director of the movie 12 Years a Slave and an event for the film.
Yikes.
Yeah. He maintains that he's innocent and that this whole thing was a smear campaign.
Was there? Oh man! Wait, this came out. Wait, 12 Years a Slave
This was
came
in
out what?
2014. This was in 2014 in January.
Oh man! Oh, if there was a man. If there was a video of somebody that recording that, just to get just to get the bigger picture of who was the real villain here. Was it Mr. White or Steve McQueen? Because clearly he's trying to make himself look like he's the victim. Which he isn't.
Of course he's trying to make himself look like the victim here. Oh my god.
Of course.
Oh god. It really is amazing how all of this just comes in and you look at this and you think, this man cannot be serious, but he is. And it's baffling and embarrassing, but at the same time, it's like a car crash. I hate to see it, but on the other hand, I love to see it. Just, just everything about this man is fascinating to me. I hate that he's such a piece of shit troll, but I love that he's also, for lack of a better term, not afraid to tell people what he's thinking, even if it pisses them off. Like, this is what he had to say about the movie Godzilla vs. Kong. And like, it's very simple. Like he said, at least the effects team had fun. All this technology is invested in monsters because Hollywood no longer knows how to do people. And I hate to say it, but I 100% agree with that as criticism for the movie.
Wow.
That's the one time where I could agree on where we will root for the monsters, but people, forget them.
Yeah, there weren't people in this movie. These weren't people. These were fucking props. These were props for the monsters to fight each other with.
Yeah. Or they were less like people and more like, well, we can't have the movie have all giant monsters fighting all the time. We gotta have some humans here, so we're gonna have to focus on these people to get the plot going.
And this is also what?
Also, at least he's not like Harry Knowles, where he got invited. Like have you heard about what he said about the Godzilla 1998?
I don't, but I'm sure it was interesting.
He gave it a positive review. Why he gave it a positive review? Because he got invited to the set.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but this shit is still happening even to this day. This one asshole who was shit-talking Obi-Wan Kenobi, but was then suddenly saying good things about it the minute that all the things he wanted to happen actually happened. That's not criticism. That's bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, here's what he had to say about Hamilton. Because I swear to God, this guy feels like Lin-Manuel Miranda touched him in some place. Here's what he said. Miranda's unprepossessing lead performance depends on whiny hectoring rather than brainy charisma. The role needs a star, and this film doesn't have one.
Does this dude have like a beef with Lin-Manuel Miranda?
I swear to God, I think he does. I think, you know what this reminds me of? This is, Lin-Manuel Miranda is to him what Jim Sterling is to Randy fucking Pitchford. Jesus Christ. What am I even looking at here? Oh my God.
Apparently, the bane of Lin-Manuel Miranda is the bane of his existence. It's like he represents everything that he hates.
I mean,
it's like based on what I've been hearing, it's like I loathe you with all of my being.
Yeah, it's like that it's like the feud between Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey when they were doing Batman Forever, and 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 Lin-Manuel is Jim Carrey, and and White is Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, I can imagine if they're in the room together, he would just say, "I hate you, and I can't stand your buffoonery."
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, or just simply go Anakin, like I hate you, I hate you.
Jesus fucking Christ, what is going? Y'all people are giving me a headache just now. Oh my god. Okay, everybody. So Gabe unfortunately had to step aside because he had to leave, but we will continue on for a couple of more minutes and then we're gonna wrap it up. Who wants to hear what he had to say about the Lion King?
Oh, I do.
Well,
Okay.
Wait,
which one?
which Lion King?
The live action movie that was not live action.
That's what I figured.
Okay,
Yes.
go on. Yeah.
Go on.
Oh god. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be a good one. Biblical and Shakespearean archetypes are trivialized by the new Disney. Its style of fake realism prevents one from imaginatively projecting onto the animation. How do you lose me but then win me back in the same exact structure of sentences?
Oh
Uh,
man, this is hilarious. Like you had me a bit on the Shakespearean thing going on because that's what Lion King is in the first place. But when you bring up a lot of the fake with the CG and shit, it's like now I'm lost.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you can maybe he's trying to comment on the fact that the CGI looks terrible, but I can't even lie about that. The CGI looks fantastic. That's not the problem. Oh my god.
Besides the problem being that this is the same movie.
You know,
Except less fun.
there's a lot of things you can say about the freaking Lion King remake, but the visuals are not the problem here. The problem is it's not a live action movie, number one, and number two, it's not even there's nothing new to offer here. Like, but you know what? We're not here to review the Lion King movie. Maybe one day we will if somebody decides to give us money, which if you want to do so, you can check out our Patreon. But this is just a big like maybe it's my fault because I'm only reading a small excerpt here on Rotten Tomatoes, but if this is what this is keep in mind, this is what they decide to put on the site because they submit their reviews so that they can be placed there. He is a critic, he's an approved critic on Rotten Tomatoes. So what we're seeing there is his own words. If he doesn't like that this is what is on screen, he can have it changed. But it's been years since this review was published. So this is what he wants us to think about his thoughts on The Lion King. What am I supposed to get out of that, though?
I have kind of a problem with that.
It's like,
I'm like,
how is it that people who don't like this movie the same as you manage to find your opinions baffling to the point where we're almost defending it? That's the weird thing is he's kind of making me defend the movies that he's shit talking, even when I don't like them either.
That's the
yeah,
enigma of Armond White.
I know.
yeah, it is an enigma. I mean, I don't like the line. It's the thing is, I never seen the remake, and I don't intend to in the near future. But even I have to agree that okay, you have to be clear. You have to be clear on what you're trying to say on this review, because you got me on the biblical and Shakespearean aspect, but the whole thing with the animation, like, what? What are you trying to say?
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. Hold on. How many of you have seen Toy Story 4?
I have.
Oh, yeah, I have. I watched it with you years ago.
Oh, I remember.
I just watched it yesterday, so it's very fresh in my mind.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
were you indoctrinated into compulsive consumerism?
Wait, what?
According to Mr. White, Pixar continues to indoctrinate viewers into childish compulsive consumerism. That's what he had to say about Toy Story 4.
Okay, Toy Story 4 is not my favorite movie. It's the weakest of the bunch, but I still enjoyed it at the end of the day. But consumer issues of
Consumerist?
consumerism, I'm kind of baffled. Like, what? What are you on?
Oh, oh Jesus. And that's, I swear to God, uh, every time, the more I dive deeper into this man's work, the more confused I get. Like, this is what he said about Spider-Man Far From. Oh, wait, this is Far From. Okay, no, I thought this is No Way Home, but actually, you know what? I'll still read it. This is what he had to say about Spider-Man Far From Home. This plot device in which Spidey realizes duty and hormones feels gimmicky to anyone not suckered by the Marvel Pixar contrivance that makes formula analogs to home. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like this. I feel like this excerpt needs some proofreading because I feel like there was some elements there that were accidentally deleted that you could have maybe added some more stuff into there. But I'm confused. Like, what plot device are you talking about here? What's the
He's
plot
talking
device?
Not to
Is he-
mentioning a whole bit about the hormones of a kid when he's trying to express his love to his crush. It's like, I mean, I get that's one of the crucial parts of the movie, but damn, are you really? I thought, am I reading a Spider-Man review or a Michael Bay review? like one of the Transformers movies.
Oh, by the way, does he have anything to say about Michael Bay's movies or the Transformers movies?
Well, here's the thing. He did not like Transformers. But you know what he did like? Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
Okay, now I know he's trolling. He's fucking with us.
I swear to God, I cannot make this up. Oh, hold on. Because Kate was unable to join us today, and I know she'll be listening to this, I'm going to read what he had to say about Mary Poppins Returns. Kate, I know you're watching this. No one asked for Mary Poppins' return to modern consciousness, but her reappearance unmistakably proves that Hollywood boomers are desperate to justify their own mediocrity through nostalgic sentiment. Okay, I have
Ooh.
just okay. Hold on. I'm gonna say
Also,
this. Hold on.
go ahead.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead, Louis. Go ahead.
I'm not Lewis. Okay, first of all, yes, nostalgia is being used, maybe a little too much, as a sort of quick to the emotions in movies. That I agree with. I think you're reaching a little bit higher than you should here, though, because this is clearly not trying to be a movie for boomers. At least that's the. At least when I haven't seen this movie, so I cannot give an actual opinion on it. But I legitimately think that this is reaching, but it's reaching higher than it probably should. Like, I don't even know what he is actually trying to say about the movie. I feel like he's got something to say, but it's not about the movie itself.
And I didn't even see the original.
I
I
tried
did.
to. I tried to watch the original, but me and Erica got bored, and we never finished it.
The original was charming,
The
and
original was boring. I'm sorry, but it was boring.
I did watch Returns with my family when it was in theaters years ago, and I thought it was all right, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, I will agree on the nostalgia bit because yeah, they do take advantage of anyone's nostalgia just so they could get everyone in seats, and because Mary Poppins is it is a it is still a well-established IP that anyone can still recognize, but that doesn't mean it's Lion King or Latin. Like that doesn't mean it's gonna earn the big bucks at the box office. That's the impression I get after watching Mary Poppins Returns. It has flaws. It's enjoyable, but I don't think. But this was a little too harsh, if you ask me, because the movie is just an alright family flick, at least in my eyes.
Oy. And again, this is another example of the man having being close to having a good point, but then being completely lost in translation. This is what he had to say about. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Lost in translation. Like the movie's alright, and it's still fun to watch for the family. That's it. Why all this harsh criticism?
Yeah, and this is what he had to say about Green Book, aka the most racist movie to win Best Picture as of recently. And I gotta give him this. On one hand, he had me there, but then he completely lost me. Cause at first I thought that we were on the same picture there, like we agreed on something, and then he loses me again. Green Book is so heavy with seriousness that any humor about the essential qualities the men share, which is very little if you actually know the story between the two, or that complement their unlikely friendship, which again was not a real thing, but again that's a different thing, is lost. This misjudgment fails to reverse the lachrymose gimmick of driving Miss Daisy. Oh my god! He is actually saying this movie is worse than this movie is bad because it's not like Driving Miss Daisy, which is another movie, which is funny enough another shitty racist movie that won Best Picture. In fact, I'm 100% certain that Green Book is its spiritual successor.
Boy, this is. I mean, first off, quite a trendy thing that we're going by. You may have big words at it like at the start, but then all of a sudden losing its way to a point where you start to compare again. There's a pattern here, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, and speaking of pattern, you guys want to hear me lose my fucking shit with his opinion on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let me get into the bunker. If you're gonna lose, you're gonna go nuclear.
Oh boy. The temerity of retelling a Spider-Man tale by pandering to the non-white demographic, parentheses, and those who flatter themselves for condescending to it, reveals how brazen the media have become. Like, I don't know what I hate more, the grammar mistakes or the fact that you're literally saying that this movie is bad because it's pandering to non-white people.
Is that racist? Is he being
He's being Uncle Ruckus. This is Uncle Ruckus level here.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. I was trying to avoid saying the actual uncle phrase because I know what it actually signifies, which is why I'm saying Uncle Ruckus because it's probably the closest that I can get to saying that without actually saying something incredibly offensive on my part. But that's basically what I'm getting at here. That's what I'm getting at here. He's basically calling this movie a movie. He's calling it terrible because it's focusing on people that are not white. Even though like half the main characters are white except for the one black kid.
My God, Armond White should guest star in the Boondocks.
Yeah.
I would have loved if the Boondocks reboot did not get canceled, because I would have loved to have seen how they interpreted him in the show.
Yeah. He should have have dinner with what was that character who hates
Uncle Ruckus.
No relation.
Yeah, yeah, man. He would get along easily with Uncle Ruckus.
No, I feel like those two would have some kind of conflict between each other. It's like, no, you're not racist. I'm racist. I'm more racist than you're racist, or something like that. Oh, good lord, this is getting way too down. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh god, hold on. What?
Oh, talk. Despite how his opinions build up, what are his favorite movies though? Because this is the moment where I want to learn his taste.
Yeah,
Well,
me too. I want to know. I want to know his mindset or what he actually likes to watch.
well, okay. So I'm gonna be very transparent when I say this. I cannot confirm if what I'm about to read to you is factual or if it's a joke. But according to flickchart.com, these are his top 10 favorite movies, or at least based on what I'm looking at here. I could be wrong. This could all be a troll, but this is what he had to say. This is according to his flick chart. His flick chart. Apparently, I didn't know what this thing was until just a few minutes ago. But yeah, this is a place. This is a thing. So these are his top 10 movies. We're gonna go from number 10 to number 1. Number 10. And before I say what it is, he has his own he has his own reasons for why he likes them too. So we're gonna get into that. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's get to learn his taste buds.
Oh boy, this is gonna be. If this is all true, I hope it's true because if it is, I'll be very happy. Number 10, The Godfather. And this is what he had to say. Come on, even I like this film. Nobody hates The Godfather.
Oh, you got me there. You got me there.
I mean, I did
Nobody
enjoy
likes
it.
I mean,
Yeah, nobody hates The Godfather.
yeah, I mean, except actual Sicilians. But hey, who cares about that?
Or James Wolfe. He said he understood the Godfather's appeal, but he's one of the few that isn't into it as everybody else. So the way how Armond White said it, like even I like the Godfather's, like I love how straight to the point that reasoning is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, so again, I'm pretty sure that what I'm reading is complete bullshit, but I did read some of his reviews, and a lot of this does feel like it's very likely this could be the case. I could be reading bullshit, but hey, who knows? It could be true. I could be wrong on this. Number 9, Never Back Down, was everything that Fight Club couldn't be, a telling satire of the plight of 21st century males.
Are you shitting me?
Again, this could all be bullshit. I promise you. Do not at me. This could all be bullshit. But he
Never
does
back.
legitimately like Never Back Down. So this could be fake, but it could be true. At this point, I'm willing to guess.
Wait, what's Never Back Down again? Is that the Channing Tatum movie?
Never Back Down. I think it was a Channing Tatum movie. I forgot about
It wasn't. Channing Tatum's movie was called Fighting.
Oh yeah, that piece of shit.
Never Back
Yeah.
Down is the like diet fighting. It's the one that everybody forgot until Sebastian mentioned it.
Yes. And it had a sequel too.
Ew.
Oh, good lord. Number 8, Swept Away. Not the original, the remake by Guy Ritchie with Madonna. Guy Ritchie may have done well financially and commercially with flicks like Snatch and Sherlock Holmes, but it is here with Swept Away that Ritchie's true colors as an epic romanticist are shown. Truly splendorous.
Yeah. And that movie has a 5% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
Hey.
He's fucking with me. He's totally fucking with all of them.
The numbers.
We don't know that. We don't know it's BS, but if he really likes that movie, more power to him. I'm just fascinated that he went with the worst film of the bunch. Granted, I like my bad films, even to the point of calling them my favorite movies.
Yeah, Luis,
Yeah.
watch the movie first, and you'll probably see why he may or may not actually like it. Because if anybody knows anything about Swept Away, it's highly political, but it's also highly problematic. But anyway, number 7.
Fair point.
Yes, number 7. Movie I've never heard of. EdTV or EDTV, masterclass in acting from Matthew McConaughey. Society today is all about who you are seen with and what you are doing. Ron Howard showed us what the Facebook generation would look like way before Pretender Social Network did.
Okay.
My belief charts is now in question. I don't know what this movie is, and his reasoning is a little a little far fetched.
Yeah, okay. Now I know that this whole thing has to be bullshit, but I'm gonna pretend, just for comparison's sake, that yes, this is all true. Let's just pretend, shall we? Number 6. Who's your caddy?
Never seen that.
Who's your caddy? Hold on. A delightful role reversal of racial discrimination in sports, particularly golf. Andy Milonakis could be the Sean Penn of a new decade. The last time I've seen Andy Milonakis in anything was in that god-awful movie Mac and Devin Go to High School with fucking Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. And then he never appeared in anything ever again. What the hell are you talking about? Again, if this is all... I'm fairly certain by this point that this list is bullshit. But I legit... After what we have listened to, can you truly... Can you blame anybody for thinking that this is real?
Well, if there's anything that I've been believing so far is the man likes to put politics in his reviews, and to see these movies that we assume is his favorites and seeing his reasonings, that's it makes it I kind of want to believe it, but at the same time I have to have a huge pile of grain of salt right beside me just so I have to take in as a good cautious measure.
Okay, well, this is the number 5th one. The number 5, number 5, First Sunday. The Ice Cube and Cat Williams movie that none of you remember because none of you watched it because none of you are stupid. It uplifts...
He's and quite quirky just to pick movies that we never heard of.
I mean, I remember it because it got promoted once upon a time, and then I completely forgot about it like the rest of the world did. It's one of those, I call them Redbox movies. They come and go, nobody saw them, nobody cared about them, and then when they're on Redbox and you see them, and you look at them and you think, oh yeah, that movie. And then you pick up a copy of fucking Captain Marvel, and then you walk away. This is what he had to say about it. It uplifts the soul to see what good Ice Cube and Cat Williams do for modern cinema. One would almost call it saintly.
To say that Ice Cube and Cat Williams contributed a lot to cinema is a stretch, quite honestly.
I mean, has Cat Williams acted in anything other than this and making a cameo in what the fuck was this movie called, Norbit?
Oh,
Yeah.
God. And and as far as Ice Cube goes, he's subpar at best, like not the best actor. If anyone's strictly talking about the 21 Jump Street movies, I guess. But this is coming from a guy like me who grew up watching Are We There Yet or Are We Done Yet? I'm just gonna say Ice Cube is no Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Right.
Ice Cube is anything but Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, I grew up with the Friday movies, but I would consider him like one of the greats. I mean, he's just entertaining. That's the best thing I can describe.
Okay. Okay, get a load of this. Now I know this is bullshit, but I mean, I like it too. I'm not gonna lie, it is one of my favorites, but not for the reasons that you think. Number 4, Manos the Hands of Fate.
Oh God. He unironically likes that movie.
Allegedly. I wanted to, again, allegedly, because I'm starting to believe that this is fake, but...
It has gotta be. It's gotta be.
It doesn't feel like it is, though, considering the shit that we read. I legitimately think this could be real. Hold on. Manos the Hands of Fate. gloriously illuminates the stretches that people will go to save themselves. Perhaps one of the best statements about the human condition in horror history. What the hell are you talking about?
Are you talking about the movie, like the characters in the movie, or are you talking about yourself when you watched it?
I don't know. I actually don't know. In fact, hold on.
When did that movie came out again?
Manos, The Hands of Fate. It came out in like 60 something. I forgot because that movie. Hold on. Did he actually like this? Oh God, he actually. Wait a minute. No. This is not him. Hold on. I can't tell if this is actually what he had to say, but hold on. I am curious. I have to know what he had to say about this.
Because if he was young when this movie came out in theaters or something, he must have been like close to a pothead or something. Like he got into so much LSD and he watched this movie and it was a revelation to him.
I'm fairly certain that this might actually not be true, but who the hell are we to tell, considering all the shit that we read so far? So I'm fairly certain that it might actually be true, or it might be fake. And honestly, I'm willing to believe. I'm just gonna go with my headcanon that this list is true. And speaking of which, number 3, since I've already mentioned Manos, what do you think the number 3 could possibly be at this point?
Room?
Yep.
Oh, well, okay, that's valid.
Hold on. This is what he said about the room. Tommy Wiseau is this generation's Tennessee Williams. I only wish others saw greatness in him as I do.
No. Come on. You're shitty here. No.
You're lying. You're talking about Sebastian.
Anyway, how's your sex life?
Oh
God.
I want to believe this is real so badly, but I'm pretty sure it's bullshit, but I don't care.
Again, bad movies can be someone's favorite movie, and if their whole world is The Room being in their top 3, I want to meet you. I want to meet the troll that would consider saying The Room is my favorite movie of all time.
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna make the argument, like, in favor of The Room. I'm gonna be like the defense attorney for The Room. The Room is one of those movies where when you're watching it on your own, it's not as entertaining, but it does have this really amazing drinking game. And I actually tried this with my girlfriend a couple months ago. It was the most fun she and I have ever had because we just watched it, we laughed, we drank, we were just like dreading every single moment because there are like certain challenges where every time something happens, like someone throws a football, you have to drink. So much more entertaining that way. I highly, highly recommend it. If you guys just get a bunch of friends together and you're not doing anything all day, just get a bunch of drinks and just pop in The Room. You guys are gonna have a great time.
They're gonna be dead by the minute that this movie ends.
Probably doing that will probably get me wasted.
Absolutely. She and I were wrecked at the end of it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll take your word for it. I may try one day, Diego.
Okay.
I am mighty tempted too.
Yeah.
You'll all have issues. But speaking of issues, number 2, a movie called Breakfast of Champions with Bruce Willis. I have never heard of this movie either, but...
Breakfast? What?
Breakfast of Champions. I don't know what this movie is, but this is what he had to say. Nick Nolte's closeted is truly representative of today's emasculated workforce. A man so afraid of revealing who he is, he will become anyone to sell a car. On one hand, I know 100% that this is now bullshit. On the other hand, I don't think this is bullshit because it feels like something that he would say considering all the bullshit that I've read so far.
Although, isn't that a slur?
I don't know, and frankly speaking, I legitimately feel like I actually did just accidentally do a slur here. Oh boy,
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
gonna edit this later somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do so, but just so we're clear, I'm only reading off exactly what this is saying here. This is not. This is not our opinion. I'm 100%. I'm 100% sure this is probably not even his opinion either. But it's just what it is. Oh boy. I think
and that movie, and that movie doesn't even have a digital release.
I I don't even know what this is. I never heard of this movie before. What the hell is this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's a. Oh my god! It came out in '99,
the
where
same.
it's the same year as The Sixth Sense.
Oh my
Yeah,
Oh,
oh
and
boy.
it was a bomb, man. It bombed hard. It cost $20 million to make, and it only grossed $178,000.
I mean, considering what I just read about this movie, I'm not entirely surprised considering that this really does feel like some weird transphobic shit. But hey, what the fuck do I know? I haven't seen this movie, and
Bro,
as far as I'm concerned, no one else has either. This movie apparently received a lot of lashing when it came out.
yikes!
Ugh,
man! I mean, and I don't know the exact release date, but man, the same year as The Sixth Sense, the one of the most critically acclaimed films ever, and one of my favorite movies too. Like, god damn!
oh my goodness.
Oh.
Oh god, what is this? I feel like I don't even know if I want to continue with this because we're gonna finish what we started. So the last one, the number one, according to this, is a movie called Zardoz.
Zardoz?
You know this movie?
I know of his reputation. I know it has Sean Connery looking ridiculous in that outfit.
Well, this is what allegedly Mr. White had to say about it. The way the film portrays masculine centered society is really an enlightening experience for all. It stands as the finest film to grace my 300 strong DVD collection.
Yeah.
God.
This this is
Okay,
just him. This just him portraying that movie on his shelf as if it's his holy grail.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I get from his reasoning.
Okay,
Yeah.
forgetting for a second that I'm pretty sure everything we just read is bullshit. What is that movie even about, Emmanuel? Since you apparently seem to know about it.
I only know about the reputation. I only know that it's directed by John Borman, director of Excalibur. The same guy who gave us Excalibur, Deliverance, that movie that made everybody afraid about hillbillies,
Oh my
and
god!
and he also did Exorcist 2: The Heretic.
What the fuck? Oh my god! I
Oh.
looked the movie up and I'm seeing that picture of Sean Connery.
And a
Oh.
unitard. Yeah, it's a unitard, right?
It's like some sort of sexual, like kinky thing.
Was this a movie that was reviewed by Mystery Science Theater 3000? Because it seriously looks like it.
Okay, so I think I've seen actually a review of this, and oh my god, I feel like I've seen clips of it, and it just looks so familiar, but at the same time, it's just so poorly made.
It looks. I feel like we're looking at a porn movie. Is this a porn movie, Emmanuel? You watch porn a lot, so is this a porn movie?
I don't watch porn a lot, dude. You're the one who watches a lot of porn more than me, so I have no fucking clue. The only thing I know about this movie is that's this head. This. If you look at the poster, there's this figure behind Sean Connery. It's his face.
I'm saying that this poster looks ugly too. What the hell is going on in this poster?
Yeah, that head. That's the whole thing I recognize about that movie. It's a floating head with glowing eyes. That's what I know about this movie.
Oh my god, what is this? Just no. What the? Okay,
And
so this completely took. I feel like it really says something when the possibility of this being a movie that Mr. Armond White would actually like completely derailed the conversation. But yeah, if this is actually true and all of these movies are in his filmography and so what he considers to be his favorites, maybe. I don't know if it's true, but frankly speaking, I would not be shocked if it was. So, do any of you guys have any final words to say about Mr. Armond White before we finish this with the last review that we're gonna read for today?
There's Diego, you first.
No, I was about to say I don't have anything. What do you guys think?
I got nothing because, yeah, everything we said about Armin White has already been said through his reviews. I think his review sets a lot of his point of view politically, and yeah, I honestly would be in the same room with him because honestly, I would not control myself to punch him in the face.
Okay. So
While violence is not always the end, is not always the answer. I want to say, I'm just like I'm with Seb here. I'm fascinated about Armin White purely just for my curiosity. Like it's like discovering Bigfoot. Now, yes, he's a person. I know what he looks like, and he does review movies or music films for a living, and it's his thoughts that's kind of an enigma. Yeah, I may not agree to what his point of view goes, but that's what makes it fascinating. Which is why when I first read about Roger Ebert calling him a very clever troll, now I believe him because after this podcast, I suddenly want to know Armin White just for the sake of knowing if I could ever discover the Bigfoot in a lost forest where I will get to learn a man's pure thoughts and those favorite movies of his. It's
if they're real,
it'll be
if they truly are.
Yeah, if they truly are, because that would be the discovery of the century of finding an actual Bigfoot. That's what I get from all this.
Okay.
I may not like the guy, but at least I have to say I gotta have to have a little respect for a man who puts The Room as one of his top 3 favorite films of all time.
Allegedly, but yes.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see if we can test that, shall we? I've been saving this one for last, and the reason why is because I wanted to read the whole thing and not just read a small excerpt of it. What I'm about to read for all of you guys is a full, unabridged review of his regarding one of the best movies ever made. I'm going to read to you the movie, I'm going to read to you the title of the article with the review, and then I'm going to read the review to you. And after I'm done, you guys can tell me what you think. Are you guys ready?
Okay.
So the movie in question, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite.
Oh boy.
And this is how he calls it in his article. Parasite, Antifa comedy for the cancel culture era. You guys ready for this? Because I don't think you are.
I'm not sure.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, here we go. Bong Joon-ho laughs at family and social ruin. Nothing in Bong Joon-ho's Parasite matches the brilliance of the family dinner table in Stephen Chow's The New King of Comedy, where a fake hatchet is lodged in the head of a daughter who's struggling to be a movie actress. She brings her work home, taking her social indoctrination and the need for acceptance to the furthest, most hilarious extreme. But Bong is an unfunny extremist. In Parasite, he annihilates the concept of the nuclear family by setting a brood of lower class con artists against an upper class family unit. The slum dwelling Kim family runs scams from their filthy, bug infested hovel. They pose as servants to the wealthy corporate executive Park family, the son as a suitor, the daughter as an art therapist, the father as a chauffeur, and the mother as a housekeeper. And then, I'm sorry, the mother as housekeeper, not as a, because that would be good grammar. As housekeeper, and then exploit their employer's trust. The Kim scheme to steal the park's envied Lutz, an insensitive joke that admits impolite class resentment. The film's hidden subject follows the economic inequality rants by leftists. Bong extends that enmity into a murderous, bloody, mean-to-be-hilarious climax, then maudlin finale. Bong himself is a political con artist. He pits a family of grifters in opposition to elites as though clarifying the easily exploited social conflicts frequently repeated in the media. Parasite is the year's most cynical movie title. Kowtows to those privileged progressives who believe the old communist adage, property is theft. Bong exaggerates this for millennials by inviting them to enjoy class antagonism through the comedy of the Kims defrauding the parks. South Korean Bong differs from China's Cho, a people's artist whose films are extremely popular. Bong wants his politics both ways, targeting and humiliating the wealthy, high-living entrepreneurs while sentimentalizing and sympathizing with the dishonest, corrupt agitators who angle to swindle them. It's Antifa comedy. Bong dismantles the idea of family and social unity, symbolized by despoiling a lavish architectural digest style abode, from his own privileged perspective that flatters the self-righteous destructors and sucking up to the armchair radicals in his audience. If you want to know how leftist politics infect the cultural stream as sick fun, as he has in parentheses, in quotes, this is it. While Cho is a filmmaker of great visual wit and an endearing common touch, proven in such films as Shaolin Saga, Kung Fu Hustle, The Mermaid, and The New King of Comedy, Bong insidiously uses genre tropes to facile, cynical effect. I swear to God, I'm hoping I'm saying that word correctly. I could be wrong. Praised by trendy critics, yet never crossing into real cultural impact. His ecology-themed monster movie The Host, his dystopian action film Snowpiercer, and his global trade farce Okji. First of all, isn't it pronounced Okja? Okay,
Yeah,
Jay.
it's Okja.
Okay, well,
it's Okja.
Well, homeboy, proofreading, you spelled OKJI instead of OKJA, deservedly, ideologically flopped. It felt bizarre to hear the media gaggle assembled at Parasite's press screenings chuckle and giggle as the devious Kim family put their nefarious scheme over on the gullible Parks, laughing as if watching a topsy-turvy version of My Man Godfrey. Seeing one's enemies attacked and vilified is not just how contemporary media liberals operate, it's also a feature of the political bias that defines the festival circuit, where progressive ideology is disguised as approved cultural trends. Parasite won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, which has become a yearly celebration of films that proclaim progressive anti-American attitudes. Those politics have overrun and confused traditional respect for cinema humanism, much as the Nobel Prizes have done. In 2018, the Cannes Palme d'Or went to Japanese director Hirokazu Koreeda's Shoplifters, which Luis and I both saw and it was good, a solemn family disintegration melodrama. But Parasite is sarcastic. Bong copies the same pitiless, poisonous view of human relations as that in Yorgos Lanthimos, the king of a sacred deer and a favorite. By doubling social decay with family dysfunction, Bong and Lanthimos lead a decadent rearguard these words. A decadent rearguard confirming millennial nihilism. It must be a global pandemic because the ugly sarcasm in these international co-productions matches the pessimism of such American features as Jordan Peele's Get Out and Us. All these movies welcome apocalypse, and that's supposed to be clever. It's metaphoric, is the Kim's son's pet phrase. The inhuman antagonism and sociopathic behavior in Parasite bungle class relations just like Get Out and Us, but minus racial paranoia as justification. Although the tirade of the ousted housekeeper imitating North Korea's Kim Jong il might convey secret ethnic power urges and envy for South Korean audiences, it's the film's cancel culture twist.
Bruh.
Wow.
I'm not finished. Hold that thought. I'm not finished
Is
yet.
there more?
Yes, I'm almost done. Shut up. Bong, Lathamos, and Peele are a long way from classic sociological satire. Their films reveal the millennium's moral defects, flirting with horror and using video game slasher movie snark, but never rising to truly challenge complexity. Unlike Cho's pop epics or Teorema from 1969, Pier Paolo Pasolini's art movie about modern deconstructed family. The Teorema was a deliberately schematic analysis of both family and religious structures and of capitalist hierarchy and communist folly. It was also a bold self-examination by Pasolini, whose scheme tested his own fleshy urges, spiritual regrets, and intellectual theories. Millennial social satirists don't dare personal revelation. Bong repeats the same self-pleasing psychosis as in Call Me By Your Name when the grifter Kim father advises his son live with no plan. Whether it's killing someone or betraying your country, nothing matters. Parasite's award-winning nihilism proves why Cho is a filmmaker for the ages and Bong is a charlatan for the moment. Now I'm done. Bruh.
Okay.
Oh my god.
God. You have no idea how
Where-
exhausting it was to read all that.
Where do we start?
Can I just
How
say
do-
that?
Yes?
Sorry, can I just say that he completely misses the point of satire and wants to make that abundantly clear in his review. I don't know. I don't know if this is deliberate. It's got to be deliberate because he keeps going around the bend so many times and hitting the same mark. I don't get satire. I don't get satire. But this is why I hate satire because I don't get it. But it's not my fault. I'm at a loss here. I'm truly at a loss. You guys.
Yeah. Honestly, you're at the point, Diego. You could have just said, "I just don't get satire. It's not for me." There, moving on. But Jesus Christ, this man is just exhausting. It's. I mean, heck, if I was at a university and he had to if he was like giving a lecture or something about this movie, I would be bored to tears. Because this guy is just wow. And comparing this to a Stephen Chow movie, what the hell was he? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't even know, honestly.
That's a theme here. That's the theme on this episode is what the hell is this man talking about?
It's like he wants to talk about movies, but he's like the Ed Wood of film criticism. It's like he knows movies, he knows what they are, he knows that they exist, but he doesn't know how. Where Ed Wood doesn't know how to make them, Armond White doesn't know how to review them, or
Right.
rather, how to even see them clearly.
Yeah, because throughout all the stuff that we've heard and listened and even read about Armond White, and you reading the entirety of Parasite basically sums up all the tropes that Armond White is currently known for, not only as a troll, but how he makes his reviews. Like, he starts off with big, strong words, then gets all political, compares it to movies that have absolutely nothing to do with the movie that he's currently talking about, and especially since he's talking about when he goes further into the political side of the review. It's like, you lost me there, man. You've completely missed the point of Parasite. Maybe you're just messing with us readers, but this is outright silly. Nobody's gonna take this review seriously. And if you hit a jackpot on the people that are suckered in to read this review, congratulations! You just earned the biggest paycheck, because Parasite is the most well-praised movies in recent memory. To even the Oscars had to acknowledge it as their best picture. To see this as one of the rare few negative reviews, it's like, yep, I'm patting myself on the shoulder because everyone's going to read my review because it stands out. I'm quirky and I will get the big bucks out of this. And this is just me with a huge tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Honestly, this man has no taste. If he does, I think he lives in another universe or something, because this man is not living at the same frequency as us.
He's not living in the same frequency as his own people.
Yeah, yeah, it just made me wish, man, I wish Roger Ebert was still alive to give us more reviews instead of this man.
It
I
really.
mean, we got more critics. It's just Roger Ebert had his time, and when he passed away, it's like, yeah, we're proud to have Roger Ebert as one of the most beloved critics of all time. And Armond White is like the polar opposite. We love how shitty he is with his writing, but as I said, he's an enigma. We don't know what he's thinking, what kind of bizarre review he's going to write next. So I praise him for being a clever little troll. So if there's any complaints I have, yeah, his reviews are shit. But it's the amazing kind of shit where he should really vary himself from from how big of a troll he can be.
Or maybe that he really likes these movies. I mean, I would consider a mastermind if he actually likes these movies, but he's doing this just for the attention, because he probably knows that if I get a positive review, I'll just be like any other critic here. I'll just be along the norm. I rather be somebody who's the complete opposite. He just or I don't just or heck, I just don't want to be ordinary. That's basically the way I describe Armond White. Doesn't like to be ordinary.
Well, give him credit. He's definitely not ordinary. I wouldn't call him extraordinary either, but that's beside the point.
Oh no, I wouldn't call him extraordinary.
No,
Hardly,
not
no.
Not in the slightest.
Nope.
Oh, my
No, no.
Oh, and y'all thought that this episode was gonna be boring. What did you guys think about today's episode?
Have
Well,
fun.
yeah, we rambled to a point where we could have accidentally gone with a controversial hot take unintentionally, but all in all, this was a fascinating episode, I must admit.
Yeah.
A character study behind a man who is an enigma, where we can't understand what he's thinking, but we can't help but be fascinated by what he does.
A cultural enigma for the ages. You don't know what he's thinking, and even when he tells you what he's thinking, you're still more confused than you were expecting.
Yes, He's clearly from the Phantom Zone, or I don't know, like Planet Mungo or something.
I'm pretty sure even Mongol would have a couple things to say, but that's just beside the point. So, did you guys have anything you want to say before we finish wrapping up?
We already said what he had to say.
All right. Well, that about wraps up today's transmission. Thank you so much for listening to us. And before we sign out, I'd like to give a special shout out to our patrons: Wade in the Wings, Abigail Verzella, Chelsea A. Crandall, and Kate from KateCast Reviews. If you like what we do here and you would love to see more, then check out our YouTube channel for reviews, video essays, let's plays, and more. And if you want to help us keep the lights on in this scorching desert we're currently living under, then check out our Patreon page for bonus content and exclusive rewards. As always, I'm Sebastian from Cinemageddon Reviews signing out, and I'll see you on the Wasteland.